Welcome back to my hometown. Thanks for taking a little time to join me today. Today I'm excited about my guest. She is new to Bowie, but she is not new to business, and she is the owner of the Wise Street Mercantile. And please welcome my guest today, Miss Elaine Kunkleman. Thank you, Elaine, for joining me today.
Oh, thanks for being here. We appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm excited to learn about the Mercantile and what brought you to Bowie, Texas. Because you're from Bowie, correct?
Yes.
You're living in Bowie. And we talked a little bit before we started about what brought you to Bowie, why you're in this old building that really kind of sat kind of just a mess for a while.
Oh yeah, it was a mess, wasn't it?
Yeah, and you know, a small town, when something starts getting worked on, there is big talk around town about
really?
What's going on, who's doing it, what's going in there.
Oh, nice.
So I was excited to have the opportunity for us to sit and visit about how it came about that you found this little place in Bowie. So if you would share your story about kind of what is your background. I know you just didn't jump into business. You just didn't jump into the Mercantile. So kind of what is your background with business and real estate? And
in 2000 I got my real estate license and became a realtor. But right away I realized I learned a lot in like a very short time. And I realized that I wanted to go in a different direction. So what happened was I literally myself got involved with a developer for business. And so we developed a business relationship and we became partners kind of. But he was the developer and I was just the realtor. And so he was also a broker as well. So I hadn't got my broker's license yet, so he said he would sponsor me until I got that done. In the meantime, we were working on development. We've done several developments throughout the years, and this was before I came on board. He was doing many of them, but one of them in particular that I did work on was the Kellertown Center. And what we did there is, it's beautiful. It was, I can't even remember, it was a while back, but we did donate the back portion, which was a flood area, back to the city for some incentives for us to do the development there. And so the Kellertown Center has like swimming pool, natatorium, amphitheater. The city hall is there now. So that is all part of the donation when we turn the land back over, the back part, to the city. Mm-hmm. And so at that point I did, I've done a couple of subdivisions myself. I have done multi-use development with him, and then I've also done development with other developers. And so what I did was like from land acquisition, the political process, the builder acquisition, to the elevation, civil engineering. And I didn't do the civil engineering myself, but we had a crew, a team that all worked together. And so I was actually a part of all that. And so during that time, then I would build, like one house maybe a year at the time. And then we had the crash in 2007. And then I decided I would just go a different route. I did have my broker's license at that time. So I kind of took a break and just built a couple houses here and there. And I also did appraisal work. And this building here, I saw it. It wasn't listed. And so I'm like, okay, do I want to go to Bowie?
So did you just see it? How did you find it if it wasn't listed? Were you just driving around Bowie, or?
It was listed on a website. And so when I saw it, I'm like, okay, well, I might be interested in Bowie. It's not too far. And so it was very, very in bad condition. I mean, we're talking major bad condition. But the upstairs still was livable. So there was someone living upstairs at the time when I purchased the property. And a few months later, she moved out. And once she moved out, that's when we decided we were going to renovate it. I was waiting for her to move out, and so that I could renovate it. I couldn't really well do it with her living in here. And so we began the renovations. But during that time, we found out we had a leak. And so it was pretty bad. And so then we had to go through the insurance company and all that, and that took time. So then after that, we finally got the renovations almost done upstairs. And that will be a suite upstairs. It's very nice up there. It's got a lot of original things in it still. And it's 2-bedroom. It's going to have 1 bedroom with a queen-size bed and a sitting area. And then the other bedroom is going to have 2 queen beds, and then a nice-sized living room and a nice-sized kitchen that's been renovated. And, of course, the bathroom that is completely renovated. And it's nice up there. It just needs a little bit more work.
So once your tenant was out upstairs, you started renovating the bottom part and got that done first and then went to the top?
Well, we started upstairs, and then I don't know how that came to a halt, but it kind of did. Oh, because she moved out and I wasn't getting any income. That's it. So, we said we need to get the downstairs going. And so then we began doing that. And my son and Roger and Rachel Whitaker, they all put it together. Labor of love, I tell you.
Because you had the property a couple years before you actually opened.
Right. Yes,
I mean, it's been a
long
I
time.
mean, as people in the community, we drive by, we start seeing stuff. Oh, somebody must have just bought it. But I think a lot of people probably wouldn't know that you had it a couple of years before it actually.
Yes, because we were fighting. I was debating with the insurance company, and just the cost, COVID, and I think that was during COVID. I'm trying to remember. It's been, I'm kind of frazzled right there. But I think it was during that time I did own the building, and it was just so much work. It was kind of overwhelming trying to figure out where we were going to start. But it did get to be a little bit deeper than what I thought.
As you got to working on it?
Well, my son and Roger. There were some issues, especially starting with the floor. They had to put floor joists in. They had to lift the floor almost, I think it was 2 feet, and level everything. And then, we got the new joists in there, the 3/4-inch floor decking. We had to put all new decking on the floor down here. And then we just kept going, That was kind of the first part. Then, just working through it every week, trying to figure out, how we were going to do it, what steps Josh was going to take, and Roger to accomplish the goals. And then we did have to work with the city, which they were very, very nice working with us, trying to get it open. And that's kind of how it was. And so they did some things, we made some changes, and now we're here.
And the neat thing about the Mercantile is you've kept some of the old things. I mean,
Yes.
there's new, but there's some of the old building that is still just like the ceiling. That's original, right?
Yes.
I mean, because it's kind of rustic and there's some holes, and I think that's what makes it neat about these older buildings is to keep some of that history.
Well, I tell you, I am not a decorator. And the community development director, Cindy Roller, she actually said, please, Elaine, don't paint that ceiling. And I wanted to paint it, and my husband wanted to tear it down. And so I was up for painting it. My husband wanted to tear it down. Cindy said no. And I had some interior designers from Homestyle Collective. They came in here and they agreed with Cindy. They said, do not touch that ceiling. So I went with the vote, and it was 2 against 1. And so I kept the ceiling, and after they got all the paint off there that was falling down, because trust me, it was falling all down, then they sealed it. So it was very tedious, I'm sure, for them. I wasn't here during that time, because I just felt like I was going to be in the way. So I didn't really want to be in the way, and I didn't want to help because I could have helped, but I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to take a seat back right here and let them do that. And Josh and them came up with a beautiful design.
It looks great.
Thank
and
you.
You know, it's a big investment. I mean, you can look around and see just the cost of the building, the remodeling, everything you have. And I guess a question I would have is that what makes you want to put that type of investment in a community that you don't live in? That you just saw the building online and thought, oh, it's close enough. What makes you want to put that much of an investment into Bowie?
This community, the people. And I think that they're, you know, when I was talking with the executive director, Janice, primarily right when we purchased the building, I wasn't sure, you know, I wasn't sure about the renter upstairs. All I know is that at that time it was generating income. So when we went and talked to Janice, she expressed, I went over there, my son and I, and asked her what she thought, her and the city, what they thought that the city needed. And so before I started anything is I talked with the city, and they told me what they would like to see, what they wanted. And so we pretty much accommodated their requests as to what they really wanted to see in the city. And so that's where I ended up doing this. I also have done research. I've done some research. I know some people that have got businesses, and theirs is more of a boutique nature. This one is more male and female oriented. But I do know how their business, I guess you could say their income, their gross and all that. And so I'm like, okay, so, you know, I've got the support of the city. They told me what they wanted. We did consider leasing the building at one time, but then we thought if we leased it, my son made a good point. He said, Mom, if we lease it, we're really not going to have control over what gets put in here to a point. And it may not be what the city, you know, really wants, and the community. So that is why we did what we did. It's mainly for the people here, so that they don't have to shop 40 miles from here. They can shop here and get what they need as far as gifts or boots. And you know, it's a Mercantile, so we got all different kinds of things.
And I agree. I think that's a throwback, because when I was growing up as a kid here, and even young adult, you could go right over here, right one block over, and you could get a suit, you get your cowboy hat, you get your boots. I mean, up and down there was all kinds of stores that you could get your gifts and all those things. And I do agree. I think we have started growing away from that with online retail and things like that. It's just easier to have it ship it to us. So it's nice for our community too, and I think the city's exactly right. I think we do need that for our community, where we can go pick up a gift locally and not have to spend time or wait. And in the process, we support somebody local.
Right. And also too, I just think it's really great that I've just gotten the support from everybody doing it. You know, we do like feedback, so we do appreciate that, and we listen to each and everybody. I just think it's been really great. The community has been really supportive, and we couldn't be more thankful for that.
Do you find yourself answering a lot of questions because we are a small town and we're nosy? That's the way a small town is.
I fit right in.
That they come in and ask and want to know all these questions. And do you have people just stop by just to see who you are, what you're doing? And
yes, we do have a lot of people that do come in and just want to have a look and see. But we know because of the way it does look, they will be back. And I think they're kind of like pre-shopping for things that they probably will be getting. And
And you, like you said, at Mercantile, so you carry a wide range of products.
Yes.
From boots to Kendra Scott jewelry to coffee to salsa to everything. And with coffee being said, you actually carry a blend that is just unique to the Mercantile.
Yes, we have a company out of Bridgeport called Bless Brew, and they have a coffee house there, and they roast their own coffee there in their coffee house. And so I collaborated with them and them with me. I told them that I would like to have our own specific blend for the Mercantile, and so it is only special to us, and so you can only get that here. And it's pretty darn good.
You said it's one of your best sellers,
It's
right?
one of the best sellers, yes. And we, I know that you probably can't see because of the camera, but right over here, we have got Party West Party Goods, and that's actually my next door neighbor that
Oh.
designs all that party wear and party goods. And she was actually at the Cowtown, what is the name of that? Cowgirl Channel. They just opened, they have like a cowboy channel on the TV, and now they've got a cowgirl channel. And she was invited, and so she contributed. I don't know really what all she did, but she is really big. She has her Party West Party Goods here, and I'm lucky to have them. A lot of the stuff we have in the store is only for, I guess you could call it, for the Mercantile. So like Kendra Scott, Anderson bean boots, Macy bean boots, Vanellio boots. Like when the rodeo comes, if somebody is looking for boots or whatever, and you get a lot of people from out of town, well, they can just come here and get their boots. I will have a hat company here. I just haven't gotten it yet. So those are specific to us, and just a lot of the stuff in here is only, in other words, you can't get it. We're the only ones in town that you can get that from. And I will say this, we just got Kate Weiser chocolates, and she's a confectionery, and she is top 10 in the nation. I was very fortunate to be able to carry her chocolates, and so, we're just like really excited. We got coffee, we've got jewelry, we've got popcorn, hot sauce, olive oil, candles.
So there's something for everybody, because as we
Yes.
talked before, your price point is just a few dollars
Yes.
to many dollars.
Yes.
And everywhere in between, whatever gift you're looking for, what fits your budget, and men and women. It's just not catered to women or just men.
Absolutely,
Because as I'm sitting here, I look over and there's soaps and body washes and
For
all
men.
that. Yeah.
For men. We have stuff for men here,
yeah.
and the spices that we have, they're for, I'm not going to say that women don't grill, but, then you can use them in the kitchen, but a lot of men like the Casa M spice, and that's an award-winning spice. It's vegan, and there's nothing in there that, somebody that has a diet, a certain diet, they can use that spice on their meat or whatever, and they won't have any problems, like a stomach ache from, Spanish spices that can hurt somebody's stomach. And we've got Bentley's Batch 5, which is award-winning too. It's barbecue sauce, but Bloody Mary mix as well. And the Bloody Mary mix is, you just make the Bloody Mary, but when you drink it, it doesn't taste, you don't get the tomatoey taste. And so that is really popular, and we have that here too. And we've got some recycled glass. We've got tea here. We've got tea French presses. We've got dual glass coffee cups, and we've got belts, bags from Rafter Tea Ranch. They're out of Weatherford. She designs her own bags, and she's out of Weatherford, Texas. And her and I have become friends. And of course, we got olive oil Delfino. She's out of Sherman, and she makes her own olive oil. And I even use it on my eggs, so it's that good. And it's kind of got a little bit of rosemary in it, and Vanellio oils. So we do have quite a bit. I might have missed something. Capri Blue. We've got Capri Blue lotions and cutting boards that are made from walnut and maple. So we've got all different kinds of things.
As you're saying all that stuff, I like
I'm sorry, I'm
westerns.
just
No, I like westerns, and all I can think about is the old mercantiles in the West, when you'd go get your fabric and you get your sugar, but this kind of makes me think of that.
Yes.
When you can get all your spices and all your different. I mean, it's just a wide variety of things that you need. I mean, you have robes, you have just all kinds of neat stuff, and so it kind of I think it's really neat. just because you
Thank
can
you.
get everything. And you have a lot of local
Yes.
as in
Texas.
within Texas, within all places that a lot of people have go and visit. And so I think that's great. What has been, since you've got everything done, opened up for business, what has been one of the challenges that you have faced starting out the business and opening up? Maybe it's being in the community, maybe it's with the business. Just a challenge that you've maybe encountered.
I would say probably just making sure that we are catering and giving the community what they want. That would probably be my biggest challenge is we wanted to make sure that when, whatever we have, it's not Elaine oriented or my son Josh oriented. It is Bowie community oriented. And so that would probably that was probably my biggest challenge, is making sure that I had the right things in here for everyone.
And I think small business owners sometimes fall in that trap. Like you said, that they put things or have things that they really like. And they think, if I like it, everybody's going to like it.
Correct.
So I really like that you say that what does the community want? What are they asking for? What do they want in our store that we can help make their gift buying a better experience? What do you see? Because a lot of people that I talk with, they're from our community. So when I ask them different things, it's pretty easy. And sometimes when we're in it, we don't see it the same way, as opposed when we're outside of it or coming in. So what do you see that our community could do better to support small businesses? Because I've mentioned before that one of my goals with sharing with businesses is that a lot of small businesses in our community start because they have a passion for it. It's not always because money's going to be rolling in hand over fist. And just like we talked before, it's going to take a while for the Mercantile because there is so much investment in any new business.
Maybe a year, a little over a year for me to start feeling a little bit better.
Yes.
Yes.
So what can the community do? What's something that they could do better to help support small businesses?
My son can help me.
That's hard.
Yeah. Well,
you guys do a lot here.
yeah, y'all do a lot.
There's always an event.
Yeah, the events are very important. But when the events are here, we need to make sure they come downtown to original Bowie. I don't know. Cindy does a great job. I think she does excellent. I think it's all really good.
Well, good. Because we, again, it's my purpose through my hometown is to really share with the community that how important the small businesses are. Because our vote for our businesses to stay are with our dollars.
Right.
Just to come in and say, man, this looks great. Yeah, you're doing awesome. That's really nice. And it's really appreciated.
Yes.
But those words of encouragement don't always keep the doors open
Correct.
and keep a business profitable.
Right. I will say this, we've just been open just a little over a month, and we are ready, the Mercantile's coffee included in that. We have several repeat customers already for stuff that, we have immediately here. And, from our cherry sours, and our pecan bags and stuff like that. If you're craving pecans or something like that, or you're just like a habitual, pecan eater because they're good for you. So, if you want something with a little taste in it, we've got Splenda pecans here. And I've already had to replenish that twice. And so, it's good for diabetics and yada yada. But so we do have stuff like that. And so we do have repeat customers. And for the barbecue sauce, the oils, the coffees, and the party goods, and stuff like that. So.
And then you also have some
skincare.
exciting things coming up, which is skincare.
Yes.
which is, you mentioned me, is clean.
Yes.
And I know what the clean is, but others may not necessarily know what clean is, or why do we care about cleaning? We're not just talking about it cleans your face.
Right.
So a skincare product, what exactly is clean
It
when you
does-
say clean?
It's all real. It's not anything like additives. I would guess that would be my word. Is I have a lady, and I'm collaborating with her, and we should have our own skincare line up and running probably by the 15th of April. And so the shelf life on the skincare, of course, because there's no preservatives, there's no additives or anything like that. They won't be in big like jars, but they'll be in smaller ones, but they're clean, meaning that it's not gonna, anybody can use it. In other words, you know,
They're chemical free.
they're chemical free. There you go. My son said it.
And it's not,
They're
because
chemical-free.
I think sometimes we forget, yes, the stuff we put in our body is very important, but the stuff we put on our skin still gets into our body because
Yes.
it goes through our pores, it sinks in. So it's very important to look at those products. Are they clean? Are they good for our
A lot
body?
of people want to stay away from fragrance and chemicals like that, especially if you're ingesting it or having to smell it all day or putting it on your face, soaking
Yeah.
your skin. Yeah, so it's chemical free, paraben free, no fragrance. No natural fragrance, no fragrance at all. Just the fragrance from the natural products that she's using to make that product.
So,
I got it today.
so and that's great. And along with the cleaning products coming up in the middle of April, you also are going to be launching a website.
Yes, and also too, we're going to have our own line of spices, and so that may be probably by the 1st of May. So we'll have our own special line of spices, and on April 11th, we're planning on launching online. We haven't got everything completed, but we will be doing that. So like somebody from New Jersey, if they liked Macy Bean boots and they can't get them over there, they can, search online, and we'll be one of the carriers of the Macy Bean boots, a certain particular style.
So they can, whether they're local in Bowie or they want to shop online, they can do that. So
Yes.
everything that's in the Mercantile, will it also be available online?
Yes.
And so, it's convenient either way,
Right.
whether they want to come in, whether they want to order online. So what, kind of to wrap it up, what makes Bowie, as you come here, what are some of the things that make it one that you want to call it my hometown?
The people. I would just say the people, that when they come in here, they're very nice. Sometimes they, walk around and they're so amazed at the building, and, of course they don't know all the work that was entailed in it, but they can certainly get an idea, and they can see that it was really, really a chore. But I had the devotion of my son and Roger and Rachel. They saw the vision too, and so they were supportive in doing it. So I would say the city. Well, not just the city, the county, Montague County, Wise County. People come from Wise County in here. I've had a couple of customers from New York, and they purchased some Kendra Scott jewelry over here, and they're in New York. But they did that before they jumped on their plane or headed to the airport. And so it's just nice because I want them to feel like when, the next time they come this way, that they make sure and stop back in here. Now, I will say this, there's been a couple of people that know a couple of people that are famous. And so I think that's probably one of the biggest compliments, because this person's pretty famous, and the guy said, the next time I see that person, I'm going to tell him that when he's over here, he needs to stop in here, in this Mercantile. So that tells me a lot, saying that, he was proud enough to say that, this person coming in our Mercantile, this famous person, is not going to feel like, oh, yeah, they're going to go, yeah, this is nice.
Mm-hmm.
That was, we wanted it very nice.
And that man was from Bowie, so for somebody
And he was
from
from Bowie. Yes, I'm sorry.
From somebody,
Yes.
for somebody from Bowie to compliment us in such a way, it meant a lot, and we've had that response consistently.
And I think that's important in a small community is we can do podcasts, we can advertise in the papers, we can do radio spots, we can do all that stuff. And that's great advertisement. But the best advertisement, just like you said, it's word of mouth from a friend.
Yes, and they're proud enough to say that, they would tell somebody very famous to come in, here. And so that speaks volumes, and so I think what mine and my son's goal was to kind of make it like a Granbury or a Fredericksburg or a Ruidoso, New Mexico town building. That's kind of what we were going for. So, yes.
And I think you've done a wonderful job.
Thank
I think it's a great look out on the street. It's a great look inside the store.
you. Well,
it's going to be a place for people. And I think it's neat that you're going to have a VRBO that people can actually stay downtown.
Well, actually, what we've got too, and the suite upstairs will actually have a balcony. So you'll be able to, you'll be able to step outside, and then you'll be able to walk on the balcony. Now, my reasoning for that is because it's my second home, and if I'm going to be here, I've got to have a place for my dogs, and so I don't have a yard here for people, and if people want to sit outside at night and have a glass of wine or a mimosa they got from here, they can go upstairs and have a couple of mimosas, and their dogs can sit outside upstairs with them on the balcony and kind of just enjoy. And so it will have a balcony by the end of the year next year. Oh, this year, excuse me.
This year.
Yes. So we'll have a balcony up there for people. And I just think that's, now that's a personal thing because that's a priority for me. Is I have a yard and I like being outside all the time. And so if I'm here staying when it's not rented, I want to be able to go on the balcony and just sit,
Enjoy.
outside. Yeah, I'm an outdoor person.
And there's in the months to come, there's things coming, more
Yes,
things.
things coming.
So even
New
if you've been in
product.
here, come back.
Yes,
Check
come
it out
back.
online. So where can somebody connect with you currently?
Okay, so we have Wise ST Mercantile and Dan Suite on Facebook, and then we've got Wise Street Mercantile on Instagram, and then on Facebook it has my phone number, and it does have our website, which is wisestreetmercantile.com, but it's not ready to go shopping on it yet, but you can kind of take a look of what it's going to end up looking like. It's very, very nice. So yeah,
And I'll put all those in the show notes so people can just look there and
Okay, well, thank
connect
you.
with you on
That would be
social media,
awesome, yeah.
website. Take
and
a
I
look
appreciate
at
you coming and doing this.
Oh, you're
I'm a little
welcome.
nervous, but
You've done great.
a little nervous.
And I appreciate you taking the time to
Yes.
visit with me and share your heart for our community, because I just think it's wonderful when somebody from outside comes to town to start a business and puts such an investment.
It is.
Because that's not just a financial investment, that's a heart investment.
Yes.
Into our community, which is the best kind of investment, is the heart investment. So
And
thank you for
yes, well, thank you, and I just want to stress that, I'm 60, and so, I want it to, I would love for it to be here after I'm gone, and my son and my grandson, and have it just be a place where people know, people come for the rodeo and they leave here and they go back to, let's just say, Florida if they're competing or something, and they say to their friends, oh yeah, I went to this place. It was called the Wise Street Mercantile in Bowie, Texas. It was amazing. The next time I go, or if you go to Bowie, Texas, you need to just go in there and check it out. Even though we're over here and they're way over there, I want to be that. I would like for the Mercantile to be a place where people will want to come back to when they're out of town, if they're out of towners, make sure they stop back by here on their way back to wherever, or if they're here for a week or whatever.
It's a place
And
that
they
they
can
want,
stay upstairs.
they want to come back and see.
Yes.
And I think that's great, and I think that does that, that you want to leave a legacy,
Yes.
not only for family, but also for the community.
Yes.
And I think that
Yes.
that's wonderful.
Yes,
So,
and I hope that we can get more people involved in the city.
yes.
Yes.
So come visit the Y Street Mercantile and see all the new things, and keep coming back over and over, because there's going to be new things added. Check them out online. We'll have all that posted. But thank you, Elaine, for spending a little
Thank
time
you
with
very
me
much.
this
It was
afternoon.
so
I
nice.
appreciate it.
It's so nice to meet you.
Yes, and thanks for taking a little time to stop by our town, and I look forward to seeing you around my hometown.